Hello. How's everybody doing today? Brother John Stewart on behalf of Lost Sheep Ministries, here to take y'all on another little walk with the word for the day. So today, I'm going to share with y'all a lesson out of Psalm. And I know normally when I'm sharing a Psalm, I'm like, oh man, this going to be so beautiful. We get to see the heart of David, blah, blah, blah. Actually can't do that tonight. Can't say that about the ones I'm going to share with y'all tonight. Actually, the ones I'm going to share with y'all tonight, they on some other stuff. Actually pretty scary. So tonight I'm going to share with you Psalm 98, verses 1 through 3. So in Psalm 98, the Lord tells us this. He says, oh, sing unto the Lord a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm have gotten him the victory. The Lord hath made known his salvation. His righteousness have he openly showed in the sight of the heathen. He hath remembered his mercy and his truth toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Ooh-wee, man, I'm telling you, I don't know how y'all feel about those verses right there, but those are some scary verses right there, boy. If you walk around this life unsaved, those are some scary verses, because essentially what those verses are saying is that there are going to be no excuses for not knowing Jesus Christ your Savior. If you walking around this earth and you breathing your breath and you's of age, there's not going to be any excuse for you not knowing Jesus Christ your Savior. You know what I'm saying? Because basically these verses are saying at some point in every single human being's life, they've seen God's salvation. They've seen the grace of God that brings about salvation, you know. But whether or not they've chosen to accept it or not, then that's another story. And basically these verses saying, well, that's on them. You know, that's what it's saying. These verses saying that's on them. Because according to these verses, there's not going to be one person that will be able to stand in the presence of God and be able to say, you know what, I didn't know. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And because, you know what I'm saying? Because again, everyone has going to know. Because that's what the verse say. Everybody knows. And since everybody knows, if you die unsaved, it's not because the Lord didn't present his salvation to you. It's because you rejected that salvation. You know? And I know some people that always want to be like, well, what about the people that's in the deep, in the jungles, the tribe in the jungles that's never read the Bible, or the ones that's over in the secluded parts of Africa that's never read the Bible? Well, again, according to these verses, they've still seen it at some point. Because think about it. Everybody has got at least one something that has happened in their life, or maybe the life of a friend or a relative or somebody close to you. Everybody have that one something that's happened that was unexplainable. You know what I'm saying? Or some kind of miracle that happened, you know? And when they look at the situation, they knew because of the situation they was in, because of whatever was going on, by all means, that person, whether it's you or a friend or a relative, should be dead, but yet they're still with us. You know what I'm saying? And that's because of the saving grace of God. So you've seen his saving grace already. At some point, everybody's seen that. Matter of fact, I remember it was a show I used to watch. I think it used to be called I'm Alive. But it was basically like people giving testimonies of messed up situations they was in that should have resulted in death, but yet they made it through. Actually, I think it was called I Survived. I believe that was it. Because at the end of the show, well, once the person has told their story or whatever, and they dramatized it, at the end of the show, they would always say, well, I survived because of blah, blah, blah. And it always amazed me that the amount of people that always attributed their survival to their will to live and not the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? They be like, oh, I survived because I just want to live. I survived because I still have stuff to do. I survived because I wanted to, you know, see my kids. Every once in a while, I would see one that would say, no, I survived because, no, it was the grace of God. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? In those moments like that, when you have these mighty miracles and you see God's saving grace, you're seeing his salvation right there. But maybe that ain't enough. Maybe the miracles ain't enough. So if the miracles ain't enough, there's still more Bible to back up my claim that you're not going to be able to have excuses. Because over in Titus 2:11, it says, for the grace of God that bringeth salvation have appeared unto all men. It didn't say just some of the men. It didn't say just the ones that's in the city. It didn't say the ones that have the internet connection. It didn't say the ones that have Wi-Fi. It says all men. Every single person has seen the God's grace and his salvation at some point. You know, and then over in Psalm 19:1, it says the heaven declare the glory of God, and the firmament show of his handiwork. So unless you were literally born on a rock and lived on a rock, you've looked at the sky before and you've seen the grace of God in the sky. You've seen the presence of God in the sky. You've seen his salvation that way. You see what I'm saying? So you see, when you stand before the bema seat of Christ, you know what I'm saying, and the Lord asks you why you never not got saved, there's not going to be no excuses that's going to be able to be accepted. There's not going to be any acceptable excuses. You're just going to have to take accountability and say, bro, it boils down to, I just didn't want it for whatever reason. I'd rather have the world. I'd rather have the things of the world than have your salvation. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when I was in college, when I went to college, there's a fraternity. I went to TSU. Shouts out to my TSU folks. I went to TSU. And there was this fraternity there called Omega Psi Phi, black fraternity. It's on most black college campuses, probably all of them. But I remember, man, I wanted nothing more to be a part of this Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I wanted nothing more to be a Q, because my barber that I had when I was younger, he went to college and he was a Q. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw his brands when he was cutting my hair one time. Like, what is that? And he explained to me what it was. And I'm like, oh man, I'm doing that. So when I first got there, man, I had me a game plan. I was gonna be a Q, you know, and I wanted to be so bad that I ended up pledging like 4 different times. Because, you know, stuff just kept on happening that kept me from crossing. It wasn't for lack of trying, but now that I'm older and I'm wise, I understand it wasn't in God's will for me to be in that fraternity, because 9 times out of 10, it would took my life in a different direction. I would have had a different focus, because I would have been so dedicated to it, I could have been dedicated to God. At least that's what I'm telling myself. But I pledged 4 different times, bro, and I never did get in, you know. But and the reason why I brought that up, because they had a poem about excuses, and that poem was so ingrained in me that I still use it to this day, and I even taught it to my kids. And the way it goes is, it says, excuses are tools of the incompetent, used to be bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothingness. Those who specialize in them are seldom good at anything else. You know, and that's probably like, God dang, because I got a little brother that I adopted, and he always has some excuse about something. And you know what I'm saying? Now I say that quote, and you know what I'm saying? And like I said, my kids, they learned it over the years from saying that. And the reason why I know it, because I used to have to quote it all the time. Because what they would do when you was pledging, they always give you, to be honest, and screw you guys, you Omega Psi Phi, because they would give you some impossible task that it ain't no way you can get done. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's for timing or effort or resource or whatever. And then when you come back and you ain't got it done, they're like, why you ain't get it done? You know, and you would have an actual legitimate reason, like, bro, I cannot do this. Like, this is impossible for me to do. And then you'd start telling them your legitimate reason for not getting it done. They're like, quote the poem. What does it say about excuses? And then I had to, excuses, tools of the incompetent. They said, exactly. Now get in the cut. You know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't hearing it. They wasn't having it. And guess what? Neither would God. God ain't gonna have no excuses as well. He's not gonna be having no excuses as well. So while you got the time, you better do what it says to do over in Isaiah 55:6. Because over in Isaiah 55:6, it says, seek the Lord while he may be found. You know what I'm saying? Because once you go through that door called death, there ain't gonna be no excuses that's gonna be able to keep you from going through those gates of hell. And that has been your little walk with the word for the day. I pray these are blessing y'all. If they are, make sure you continue to like, tag, comment, repost, and y'all follow me as well, man. I've been getting a lot of follows. I appreciate that, because I'm guessing everything, these are blessing y'all. So keep on doing that. Keep it up. Get them numbers up there so we can get in that algorithm and get this word out. If you want to catch my full sermons, catch me on Facebook Live, Monday nights, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then I post them on my Facebook page, and I also put them on my YouTube page. And if you want to find all my little social media outlets, just go to lostsheepministry.com. You can find them all there. And of course, you're not 100% sure about your salvation, reach out to me and let me know. I'll put some time in my schedule to go over the gospel with you. I love you all. Thank y'all for being here. Remember, I always watch your back and pray. Until next time, peace.